Hi everybody, it's Tina Plackinger. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for your feedback on, the beeping. I want you to know that I don't get all bent out of shape over stuff like that. I don't focus on it either. I give it my energy and then I move on. Because what happens is it burns me out. I feel fatigued today. The chronic fatigue syndrome. And at least it's documented. And and I thank you for your validation. Other people heard it. Okay, great. Some people didn't hear it. And I can only hear it out of one ear. So, one of my friends, these are people that I have never met in my life, but, friendship has changed over the years. So, friends used to be people that, you did things with and so forth, but today friends, it doesn't mean that. But anyways, I have a friend who shot a lot of guns as a kid, and he can't hear that range of sound. Range, decibel, whatever you call it, I don't know. Like if his battery goes out in the smoke alarm in his house, everybody can hear it, including the dog, except him. So not everybody can hear it. But I had a pretty good handful of people that heard it, and that's good. It's not on today yet, this morning or anything. Neither side. Okay, I have a long acre. I am in the front by the road, but the rest of the acre is behind the house, and so is the 2 acres next to me and the 2 acres over here, and they are vacant. And all overgrown, okay? Or as people would say it here in the South, overgrowed, all growed up. It's all growed up. So, yeah, I'm not going to let it bother me, but at least you heard it, and yeah, I'm monitored like an animal. And the interesting thing is that this organization, these people, wherever, because I've only been here, 7 years, it doesn't matter what state or anything like that, but, these people have used whatever it was that I, wanted. Like, for instance, when I was first targeted 18 years ago, I didn't know anything about anything. I mean, I was a professional athlete. I traveled the world. I flew somebody, the PR lady would get me a job somewhere. I would go to the airport. Everything was taken care of. Get on a plane. I'd get off the plane and somebody would be there with a limo and would be holding up a sign that said Tina Plackinger. And, they would take me to my nice hotel. And the next day I would give a seminar at a military base or a product display at a store somewhere. And then when that was over, I would be picked up and taken back to my nice hotel room. And I did my job really well. And I respected people who enjoyed coming to hear me talk and ask me questions and things. I was always very nice to everybody. I treated people the way I felt I wanted to be treated. And it was all good. What's my point? I had a point. That's what happens when I get real fatigued. I lose my train of thought. I was going somewhere. I was taking you somewhere. I knew very little about the world. I mean, I was worldly and I traveled the world, but I was in a different position than I was when I had become homeless, and I didn't know anything about camping. Like I said, I would go out to eat. I mean, my work was done in the gym, and, you know, during the other hours of my life, it was very disciplined. My life was very disciplined. So when this stuff happened to me, I just didn't understand it. I didn't know anything about it. And what this organization had done was, at the time, I really wanted to. I had gotten a motorhome. I traded my Jeep Cherokee in for a motorhome. And after the motorhome, I wanted a travel trailer so that I could pull it behind a vehicle and then detach it and continue on with my homeless on the street life. And what they did was they took that which I wanted very much, and they turned it around and made me resent it. Every time I tried to detach the trailer anywhere, someone would come running out of the business or their home or somewhere and tell me that I couldn't detach it. So here I was now lugging around the travel trailer, you know, have house will travel. I'm lugging around the travel trailer behind me everywhere I went, and they turned that around and made me resent it. Again, this is one of their tactics, and they've done that to me with fencing in my entire acre. You know, my dad, before he died, he left me money, and he told me to get the whole acre fenced in. And of course it was, you know, all overgrown and like a forest back here. So I had all that cleaned out and had it all fenced in. Well, what they've done now with putting these, I think, sensors around me, like I'm a caged animal. You know, they've used that, which I've done, to keep my dogs in, keep other dogs out, just have my spot, okay? They've turned that around now, and they want me to resent the fact that I'm fenced in. So, and that's par for the course. That's what they do, you know. They profile us. They profile us before we really know what's going on. They send people in, and you know, that'll blow our socks off. Basically, they profile us, and those people who are profilers in the organization, the program, whatever you want to call it, you never see them, you never meet them. They get the skinny on you, and they probably sit at a desk and or on a beach having a pina colada. And they see, you know, okay, were you a daddy's girl? Oh, you were, this one here was a daddy's girl. Okay, well, what did daddy do? Daddy was a contractor? Good, we're going to send in a contractor now. And, you know, they profile us very well, and they send certain people in. You know, back in the day, when I was first targeted, there was a guy that came along, and well, you know, he pretended to be my boyfriend and all that, and he was hot. He definitely was hot, and I really liked him. I didn't know, you know, I think, you know, people on the street called him the man, and that's a slang kind of a thing for a cop. So he was the man. But anyways, he turned out to be bisexual. So basically, he really deep down inside hated me, you know, because I was female. I was something that he wasn't, or he would never become. Got to watch out for those people. you know. Being a strong woman like I was, I attracted and was attracted to a more, I don't want to say feminine, creative individual, you know, entertainer, singer, songwriter, poet, writer, author, comedian, film editor, that sort of a person. So, and deep down inside, you know, this person that they had profiled me and sent this guy in, he did some major damage. But anyways, one day I found that there was a call that came in. I had a caller ID under my bed. And he had been visiting me, I guess, over the weekend or whatever. I don't remember. But I remember there was a number on this caller ID, and I decided to call it and ask this guy why he called the house. And he told me, don't worry about it. And I was like, don't worry about it, but you called my house, and I need to know why. And I had known that this other guy, who was the sent-in perp, handler, whatever you want to call him, was at my house at the time that that call had come in. And every time I tried to find something out, you know, I was told to basically don't worry about it. You know, that real attitude. So, my message today is that of the Serenity Prayer. You know, the Serenity Prayer is a wonderful short prayer, and if you don't know it, learn it. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Nowhere in the Serenity Prayer does it mention the word understand. We ask God to grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, people, places, and things. We ask Him for the courage to change those things that we can, like our attitude and our mindset. Finally, we ask God for the wisdom to know the difference between what we can change and what we cannot. Nothing is mentioned about understanding anything in the Serenity Prayer. Maybe it's because plenty of things cannot be understood, or that to understand them wouldn't change anything anyways. We thank God that it is not our place to understand. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. There's 3 sections there, and you can take them apart. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. I can't change the fact that they've got something set up out there that is monitoring me like a caged animal. Whenever I pass that line in my yard, they're notified in their homes. Okay, I can't change that. The courage to change the things I can. Well, the beeping really doesn't bother me that much. I don't have to put headphones in or earplugs or anything. The courage to change the things that I can. I can change my thinking about it. You know, I can change my focus. I can focus on something more powerful and more beneficial to me than the beeping in my yard that seems to be on 40% of the time, not all the time. And the wisdom to know the difference. Now there's a good one there, because in James 1:5, when it says that, when we want wisdom, that we go to the Father and we ask the Father for wisdom and He will give it to us. So we go to the Father in Jesus' name and we ask Him for wisdom. And that's that third part in the Serenity Prayer, the wisdom to know the difference of what I can change and what I can't change. Today's affirmation and thought is, today I will keep my energy by letting go of the need to understand and figure everything out. Amen? It takes a lot of energy to figure things out, worry about things, having to know and understand everything. We don't need to. We do not need to. Okay? I start the daily reading today for November 9th with, there is no need to understand anything when we are stuck. Okay? And again, nowhere in the Serenity Prayer does it say, understand anything. It's about acceptance, courage, and wisdom. And with that, I thank you for joining me today. We stay in the fight. We focus on Jesus. We live one day at a time. And together we can do this thing. God bless you, and I will see you soon.